How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for moving this back for me.
Yeah, no problem.
Nice. Yeah. All
Mm,
right.
Not a problem at all.
My schedule has been like crazy.
With work or just life?
Yeah. So both. I work full time as a hygienist and I see my clients in the evening. And so I've literally had a 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock client almost every night for the last 3 weeks.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
I've had so
That's
many, yeah, so many babies and so many myofunctional clients, and it's summertime, and I'm just like, oh my gosh.
when is your break coming?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh
We
no.
have a vacation in August.
Oh wow. That feels like a very long time from
Yeah,
now.
yeah. So it's just been like, oh gosh, okay.
Do
No,
you want to reschedule, Tina, so
no,
you can have some time?
no, nope. I'm good. No, I'm
Okay.
actually good. It's just funny. I'm just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And then so you do something else in the morning, but you've said it a few times, but I don't recognize the word.
Okay, so
Myo.
so technically full-time daytime I'm a dental hygienist. So I work in a dental office. And then my business is I'm a lactation consultant, but I'm also what's called a myofunctional therapist. So essentially I do physical therapy-ish for the mouth and the face and the cheeks, the lips, and the tongue. I get those functioning the way they should.
Oh,
So
wow.
all of my jobs kind of work together because I work in the mouth, which is how I see if people's mouths aren't working properly. I do lactation because I want to start at the beginning and educate
Yes.
parents, and then I do the myofunctional therapy. So it all is encompassed together.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah. So
That is so cool. Are you seeing a trend of like more moms that are nursing?
I am. I mean, I've had probably in the last 2 weeks, I've had 6 new clients who are doing lactation.
Wow.
So, yeah, I think so. I think more moms because it's cost effective, really. I mean, it's cost effective. And two, I mean, I think people are becoming more health conscious and
Yes.
because a lot more moms are pureeing their own foods now and they're doing those kind of things. And so I think they're starting to, I think that's a trend that's getting more popular.
Good. I love that. Oh man, I loved nursing my babies, especially in the middle of the night. You just have to turn over. Like,
Yeah.
it was so convenient, but then it was just such a,
See,
yeah.
now I didn't get that because I struggled with my first. He was a preemie. And, they
Um,
told me, oh, you don't produce enough milk. I didn't have really good lactation support. So I pumped for about 6 weeks, and that's hard.
that
And so
is
I
hard.
gave that up. And then with my second one, I didn't even try because I thought, well, I'm the problem,
Oh,
And then to find out
yes.
years later that I really wasn't the problem, that I just didn't have enough education on it to,
Yeah, absolutely. That makes sense. There's so
yeah.
many, well, I know of one herb at least that can help with milk production, but yeah. Yeah, I look back too on giving birth. Thankfully, I just kind of randomly picked a birthing center for my
Mm-hmm.
first and had him in water, obviously with no medication. And I don't even remember how I picked it. I just didn't know. I was so young. I didn't know anything about it. And I just kind of happened into the most beautiful, I mean, for me, like the dream birth,
Yeah.
but yeah, I had a lady from my church growing up that helped me a lot with nursing, like just telling me how to do it because it's all
Yeah.
new and you're
It's all,
hurting
yeah.
and it's not comfortable. Like,
Yeah. And there's not a lot. Now, there was a lactation consultant in the hospital where I gave birth, but I'll be honest with you, friends of mine who had kids in the same hospital, they called her the nipple Nazi because because she wasn't very friendly. You know what I mean? She was very
oh,
matter of fact, and she came in and she goes, "You need to do this," and you know what I mean. And she plopped the baby on there, and she'd walk out, and then it was just like,
oh,
okay,
geez.
you know. So it
Yeah,
just wasn't a very good experience for me. But
yeah.
my
Well,
mom did,
that's,
my mom didn't breastfeed. My aunts didn't, you know what I mean? I just didn't have a lot
yeah,
of that support. So
yeah. Well, that's so cool though that you're you're doing it now and helping lead the way for that.
Well, I found out my son at 15 had a tongue tie, which is probably why he couldn't nurse.
Mm,
And then he had sleep apnea. And so that's how I got into myofunctional therapy because I learned that to help him. And that kind of led me through the whole thing. So,
that's so
yeah,
cool. Yeah.
it's
It's
always
so
a story.
yes. Yeah, that's how I got into counseling. It's kind of well, not my kids, but kind of a story like that. I mean, I went to college to be a missionary. Like I didn't
Oh,
want to live in the States. I wanted to live in Ghana and West Africa. But then I had I mean, it's kind of similar to your story. Like you're just kind of living life and then certain things happen, and it
yeah.
shifts your perspective. And I had some repressed memories that came up of childhood abuse.
Oh,
There just
yeah.
happened to be a free counseling center
Yeah.
that on campus, because there was a grad school there, and I went and it changed my life. And I'm like, I want to do this forever with
Yeah.
Americans. Like, I want to stay in America and do it.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even on my radar when I went to college. Like, I love it when stuff like that happens. It just
Yeah.
seems like a natural next step.
Yeah.
So
And I
that's
think when
really
you
cool.
experience it yourself, when I talk to parents, I'm like, I've experienced this. I mean, I was on this side of it. It's not like I
Mm,
went to school and I learned all this stuff and I didn't have any background to it. It's
yes.
kind of like I experienced all these things that,
It makes a huge difference
yeah,
because it builds rapport right away, you know? You're
yeah,
not just saying what a book said,
yeah,
you've lived through it.
yeah,
So
yeah. So,
it's
but yeah,
huge.
yeah. So, well, I'm glad that we could get you back on here and get everything situated. And what I'll do is I'll probably just have you introduce yourself and what you do, and then you can
Okay.
kind of talk about what you do. And if I have questions during that, I'll ask them and stuff. But
Okay.
yeah, I'll
Okay.
just let you go and say what you want.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Tina, for having me on. My name is Lelyne Joyner, and I own my own practice. It's in Brownsburg. I also meet with clients virtually. I'm licensed by the state of Indiana as a licensed marriage and family therapist. I also have a master's degree in mental health counseling, so I have kind of both sides. My philosophy is that when we have healthy relationships, it really decreases the amount of mental illness that we'll deal with, and vice versa. If our mental health is good, then we're gonna have healthy relationships. But I also am trained in EMDR, which is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. So it uses the rapid eye movement that our brain already does when we're asleep to process. It activates that when the client is awake. So it's dynamically different than talk therapy, and it's the most researched therapy that exists. And in my opinion, the most effective that I've ever experienced personally and ever have worked with clients through. It's amazing. I could talk about that forever. But I also do court ordered reunification therapy. So when there is a custody battle, um, and a parent is alienated from children, I step in and I reunite that parent that's been alienated. So, um, yeah, that's what I do. I love it.
Fascinating.
So
Yeah.
I work with individuals, who want help, obviously, with their mental health or with relationships, with trauma. I work with couples as well. Sometimes I work with couples and then the couples individually if they prefer that. I know some therapists don't feel comfortable doing that, but I found that's been really helpful. So yeah, I work with families as well, teenagers. Um, I've got three of my own at home, so I kind of speak their language, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, it's a wide variety of clients, but I love it. It's never boring, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Do you find because the world is so overstimulating today and we have access to so much stuff, do you find that people are reaching out a little bit more for, therapy? Um,
Yes, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And it really just depends on what they need. But yeah, my schedule stays full all the time, thankfully. But I think since COVID, I think people have recognized that they need help more. And I think maybe the stigma even for seeking mental health help has gone down through that. I think it had pretty lasting effects on relationships because we were so isolated. I do think it brought a lot of families together, but I think it also exposed problems in relationships more because we were with the person all the time. Um,
And it was a
so,
stressful time too. There was a lot of
yes.
stuff that nobody knew what was going on and stuff. It was kind of,
Yeah. Yeah, as parents, we're trying to navigate our kids walking through a situation we had never experienced before, ourselves. So a lot of parents had anxiety and came in to see me like, how do I navigate this with my child, who without them thinking the world is a dangerous place, and other people are dangerous. So yeah, I think though, I do think people are seeking more help, and I'm so thankful because a lot of times people I think a lot of times before COVID, I mean, it still happens, but I feel like it happens less now. People just wait too long. I mean, they suffer through until they're at a breaking point, which is, you know, with a marriage, it's harder to work through, um, uh, because resentment is really difficult to break. But individuals, it can be hard too because people come in and they're exhausted already. And then
Mhm.
I'm giving them suggestions, but they're exhausted. They don't really have energy to shift. Or I mean, I think sometimes we can even get to a place where trying anything new is just overwhelming because we're just surviving. So I see a lot of anxiety since COVID that's turned into depression because, we can only be hyper vigilant so long before it begins to just feel hopeless. This is never going to get better.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm thankful for EMDR is because there's a quicker turnaround. I mean, the subconscious, because everything that we do, not everything, 96.664%, the CDC says like 92, between 92 and 95% of all we do is motivated by our subconscious belief system. So, when you hear somebody say, I don't know why I do it. I don't know why I keep doing this, or I turn to this when I'm upset, we really don't until
Mhm.
we sit down and figure out what's our real belief system. We can say we believe this, but our actions show us, sometimes a whole different belief and that's what motivates us. But
Yeah.
EMDR goes straight to the belief system subconsciously and shifts. What it does is it takes these memories that prop up these beliefs, and these beliefs are based on experiences. Like the example I always give to my clients is when I was one, I was told my dad left us and moved to a different state. Now at 43, I know that that wasn't the full story. But growing up, that's what I thought I experienced. So my belief was dad's leave.
Hmm.
So then it affects me in my marriage, because I'm like kind of guarding myself a little bit without even knowing, because my belief is men leave. So it would take a belief like that, EMDR would, and it would take what experiences reinforce that belief and knock out those experiences one by one to reprocess those experiences. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
it
now
does.
it doesn't mean men leave. It could mean to me, well, some men leave, but I'll be okay,
Hmm.
or I'll be wiser with a man I pick to marry, or like it gives me back power instead of leaving me in an anxious place that's a false belief. Not all men leave, but it also takes away the emotions. It neutralizes the emotions that go with that experience. So then something happens in 2026 and I don't get triggered back to that event anymore. I can talk about it, but it's not like I'm reliving it.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
really cool.
Are there times when it's something that you truly don't know that's in there? You know what I mean? Like you
Yes, that's
have
a
maybe
great
a belief that
question.
might not be true,
Yes,
might
you
not,
mean
like might not, you might not even be aware that that's what you're
yes.
thinking about.
Yes. And it's based on, okay, what do you feel in this moment when I say this? But yeah, some people have repressed memories, like I mentioned before, like, and the brain has shut that off. They've dissociated, they've disconnected, in that moment as a way to survive that moment.
Hmm.
So, that's really interesting. It's cool though, because in, as opposed to talk therapy, I don't need to know the details. The brain knows all of that. It's just kept it separate from the conscious. And so we can still make movement around those beliefs without the person actually remembering specific things, which I know
Yeah.
probably sounds contradictory to what I just said earlier. Um, but I don't need to know all the details. So a lot of people just like it because it's so different than talk therapy. I'm not digging in and
Hmm.
asking all the details because I don't need to know. It's the brain that's doing the work,
Yeah.
with all of that. So it is still pretty exhausting, um, in just a different way than talk therapy. Like a lot of people are like, I need a nap when
Yeah.
they leave, but the brain keeps processing for up to 48 hours afterwards. So some people will come in and they'll have really vivid dreams, that are related to what we worked on, which is great. I love it when people come in and have dreams because that's the brain doing the work for us. I mean, it's expediting the process essentially of EMDR.
Yeah.
So it works on the premise that the brain knows how to heal and it wants to heal. So
Okay.
we're just activating what it's already doing. It takes a lot of pressure off of the client. So,
If
yeah.
somebody comes in and they tell you they have vivid dreams all the time, but they don't really know what they're associated with, is that something that you kind of look into as well?
Oh, I do. I
Like,
love it when
figure
clients
out.
tell me dreams. I rarely can't decipher what the subconscious is trying to process. Because sometimes you do just get a really weird dream, and I'm like, I can't help you. I have no idea what that means. But the vast majority of the time, it makes sense to me right away. But when you're in it and when you experience the stress of it, it's hard to see, what it's linked to. But like, if you have a dream that you're being chased or you're falling, that's
Mhm.
typically just anxiety. You feel out of control in some area of your life, and your brain's trying to process that you can't control it. But yeah, usually the dreams after EMDR are directly linked to one of those connections of other memories or other relationships or situations that the brain has connected to that belief that we worked on.
Hmm. Okay.
Like some clients will say, I have no idea after a set, they'll say, I have no idea. This is so random. Why my brain just brought this memory up of something, and it always connects.
Hmm.
It's so
Your brain's
cool.
working through all of the different details of it, and yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
Huh.
Because our beliefs are propped up. I always picture in my mind like an island house that's on stilts. The stilts are these memories that prop up this belief. So we knock out the stilts, and we knock out the first one, and then it weakens all the others, but they're still connections. We've got to get rid of all the connections to make it mean something different that's true about, themselves or the world around us.
Mhm.
So it's really fascinating.
Yeah. Oh, I bet it sounds like it. Yeah, I bet since, like you said, since COVID really just changed everybody anyway, I think, and even today, the world's just kind of crazy, and so there's a lot
Hmm.
to process there, especially if somebody
Yes.
already has, anxiety or depression, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It exacerbated a
I don't
lot.
watch the news. I couldn't tell you what's on the news ever. I watch the weather to see what the day's going to be like. And that's it. I'm like, nope, I don't have time for the other stuff. Sorry.
When did you stop? When did you stop watching the news?
Probably COVID time.
Yes.
Yeah. you know?
Did you see your anxiety drop?
Yeah, yeah, I did. And I tried not to. I mean, there was a lot to process at that time. You know what I mean? It was
Hmm.
just so much to process. And yeah, I quit watching it then and I still don't. I hear bits and pieces I can see online, you can see what's happening in the world, but I don't. I just don't watch it.
Hmm.
Like, no, I'm
Yeah.
happy. I could be that person who lives in a cabin somewhere away from everything and not even have access to internet, and I would probably be fine.
Yes. Yeah. Sounds
Yeah.
peaceful for sure. I
Yeah.
stopped watching the news too because I just had to guard my heart and my mind. There's just so much. Our brains were not meant to process all the information that we get all the time.
Yeah.
It
That's what I feel. And I feel bad for kids today because they don't know any different. Like for us, I'm old enough that we didn't have internet stuff. I didn't grow up with internet and
Yep.
I didn't have a phone that I carried around 24/7 to have access to everything. I still wish we go back to a time where you went home and, listened to your voicemails on your machine, but, it's never going to
Yes,
happen. But, I mean, it's just that our kids today just have so much more to process
they do.
than I think we ever did.
Yeah. Well, especially with social media, that's,
You can't get away
anybody can take a picture of you at any point in time
from
in
it.
public and post it and ruin your reputation. I can't imagine my daughter's in middle school. Well, she'll be a freshman. I can't imagine going through middle school, which is such a difficult time
Yeah,
with that pressure too, of
yeah,
everyone having phones, everyone having access. Oh, it's so much. It's
yeah,
so much for them to deal with.
yeah. I
So,
will say my youngest son has Asperger's and he's so funny, but he doesn't get on, he's never been on social media. Never. He doesn't get on it. He has his phone, he'll watch videos and stuff, but that's just not his world. And he's the happiest kid. It's like, why can't we all live like that? He doesn't
yes.
care what other people think. He just does his thing the way he wants to do it, and he's happy. I'm like,
Oh,
it's so
it's
peaceful.
amazing.
It is. It's so peaceful.
That's
Like we
gotta
need to
inspire
learn from
you.
these kids. We need to
Yes.
learn instead of them adapting to us, we need to adapt to them because they really do have a great mindset, I think.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
he's very unfiltered.
There's something so pure and innocent about that?
He's very honest. So, but there's something when you look at it, it's just like he has the best life. I mean, he really does. He doesn't think, he doesn't know any different. That's just the way he lives, but
Hmm.
he just has the purest, genuine way about him. So, yeah, it's fun.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that. How old is he?
He's 21.
He's 21. Okay.
21. He'll be a senior in college this year.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So, yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yep, he's doing well. So, yeah. But, but yeah,
That's
like I said,
awesome.
I always envy his thought processes because he is who he is.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's what so many of us strive to be, and I see a lot of women going through perimenopause and menopause. I know this is super random, but like beginning to learn or like caring less and less about appearing weird or, just kind of shrugging off that care of what people think, what people's opinions are. Um, it's really an interesting process. But as me and my friends are going through it, we're like, man, perimenopause kind of gets a bad rap. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah.
But there's also this, I just don't have energy for that anymore. I don't have energy to care about that. And um, I see a lot of perimenopausal women come in because they feel crazy.
Yeah.
And it's actually the highest suicide rate in women is
Yeah.
that
I
the
get that.
age range of I think between 45 and 55, because we're just not taught about it,
Yeah.
you know,
Well, and
for the most part.
your hormones are all over the place and and that kind of stuff. But it is true. I mean, I'm at the high end of that because I'm 55, but um I am probably 5 or so years ago. It's like I mean, I go out, I don't have makeup. I never wear makeup. I mean, I just don't. But I have jeans and a t-shirt on. I don't care. You know what I mean? It's like I have a house to run. I have a business. I have a
Yes.
job. I don't care. And if
When did you start feeling that? I mean, have
probably
you
five.
always felt that way
I
or
felt that way somewhat. I never really cared what people thought about me because, well, I did. I shouldn't say that. Probably in my 20s and 30s, I cared. I wanted, I mean, you wanted to look a certain way and you wanted to make sure everybody saw you a certain way. Probably when I had my kids, probably in my late 30s, early 40s, it was kind of like, I don't have time. And then in my 50s, I've just been like, you know what? I mean, my hair, you can't even see it in this, but my hair's, I'd let it go. It's has some gray in it. And, I'm just like, I don't, it's fine. That's my hair. I've earned every one of those,
it's gorgeous. I love
It's,
your hair color.
it's like, it is what it
Yeah.
is. But
Yeah.
yeah. But I get that. I get that with that age range because the hormonal part of that really does make you feel like you're losing your mind.
Yes. Have you heard of Dr. Mindy Pelz?
Mm-mm.
Pelz. She wrote a book, or she's written a few books. One is called Eat Like a Girl, and it goes through all the hormonal shifts in, I think, in perimenopause and menopause, but in the cycle, like the four stages of your cycle every month, a woman's cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fascinating what we don't know. I didn't even know there were four stages of a
I
cycle
didn't either.
until like 3 years ago, nor did I know that my body needs different foods in each of those cycles to support the hormonal shifts and the
Mm-hmm.
production of the hormones.
Hmm.
Um, so she's really good, Dr. Mindy Pelz. There's another woman too, but I can't think of her name right now. I can see her face, but I just love that they're getting the word out,
Yeah.
of I'm going to train my girls. Like, here's what your body needs. Here's what your body's doing, and why it needs to be honored and respected because it's doing so much. I'm sorry that my screen is
That's
moving in and
okay.
out. I don't know why it's
It's okay.
doing that.
It's all right.
All of a sudden, I'm like really up close or really far away.
That's okay. Yeah, it's fascinating. What you do though is much needed. I mean, it really is. Like I said, life's crazy. So
Yes.
life is crazy.
Yeah.
Um, are you finding that for married couples, um, so are you getting more married couples coming in? Because I know COVID, like you said, COVID really took a toll on a lot of people. I know I had a lot of friends, several friends divorced during COVID time, but
Yes.
I think the stigma, like you said, I think the stigma started to go away that it's okay to ask for help.
Hmm.
So you find
Yeah.
that even couples are coming in.
Couples are kind of, I don't see a whole lot of couples right now, and I don't know why.
Mhm.
I'm not really sure. It's been interesting. I've thought about it a little bit. But it just really depends on how they are when they come in. If they're past that point of they're just resentful, they want their spouse to make all the changes, do all the work. Like, some couples don't stick with it
Yeah.
long enough. I've never seen an affair ruin a marriage. I've only seen a lack of consistent rebuilding of trust ruin a
Mhm.
marriage. Where
Yeah.
trust has been broken and an affair is devastating,
Hmm.
but it can be fixed with consistent, intentional rebuilding of trust.
Yeah.
Um, so marriage counseling is really dynamic. An individual can come into me and they can pretend to be whoever they want to be. And I'm trained to see through that. Like I read body language and facial affect. But when a spouse comes in, there is no faking.
Yeah.
The spouse will call you out. And so it's a lot. I find that there's typically a quicker movement But I'm a pretty blunt therapist too. I mean, I'm very kind with how I say it, very compassionate, but I will not, some therapists wait to build rapport, a lot of rapport with clients before they say an opinion or give a suggestion. And I don't. I'm
Mm,
like, hey, I want you to walk out with tools on your first, after the first session. Um, so some clients like that, some don't.
yeah,
But I've been through counseling myself and you go there and you need hope right away.
yeah.
I'm kind of getting off track with your
No, you're good.
question. Sorry about that.
You're good.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, but I mean, yeah, like you said, I would much rather have something that I could take away from it on that first appointment that I could say, okay, we're gonna build from this point. So, I mean, I see
Yeah.
that because that's how I would want to do it. So,
Yeah. And if I see something that's damaging the marriage, I think it's my duty to say it. Like, what else am I there for?
yeah.
But I get a lot of clients that have seen other therapists and they're like, man, the therapist just,
Oh, I lost your sound. It's like, what happened? Can you hear me?
can you hear me now?
There you go. Yep. Now I got you.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
My daughter connected my AirPods
Oh,
somewhere in range. Sorry about that.
no worries.
I don't even remember what I was saying. I
We
feel
were
like I
talking
was,
about people going to other therapists and not having, you know,
oh, yes.
having,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty straightforward. Um, so I mean, I'm gentle about it, but I want, like if I see a couple, I'll let them fight a little bit in front of me so I see because my job is to see like the content's going to change. I don't really care too much what they're fighting about because that's going to change in 5 minutes or 5 weeks or 5 years. But the process of how they communicate, that's what I need to see. Um, but yeah, I'll point that out pretty
yeah,
quickly.
yeah,
So, and I think that gives them ownership too of like, okay, this isn't a hopeless situation. If I own my part and they own theirs, then, we can change, we can shift.
yeah,
So it's really cool to watch a marriage heal.
yeah.
I
I
mean, to
absolutely,
watch anyone heal, it's just, I mean, it's so sacred in my opinion. It's such an honor and a privilege to do what I do, you know,
absolutely.
to
Yeah,
let it takes so much courage to open up to somebody, you know, and when people do that, it's such an honor
yeah. Well,
for me.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
what you do is amazing. So, do you have anything else that you want to talk about, or, you know, you said you do in person and virtual.
Yes, my office is in Brownsburg. Yeah, close to 74 and 56th Street, kind of in between on Northfield Drive. But yeah, I do virtual as well.
Okay.
I've got clients that are, 3 hours away in other towns that I meet with. I do coaching outside of the state of Indiana. If somebody wants to meet virtually, I can't counsel because I'm not licensed, but I do some mental health coaching as well.
Okay.
So
So if
yeah.
somebody wants to reach out to you, what's the best way to do that?
Well, on Facebook, I'm Leland Edens, Lelyne. My last name is Edens. Um, so I post there pretty much every day, so people can message me on there. Um, or my email address
Okay.
is is actually what I'm licensed in. It's Lelyne Joyner, Joyner at Yahoo. Or my phone number is 317-272-6208.
Okay.
So yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much for having me
Yeah.
on. This is fun
Thanks
to
for coming
chat with
on.
you.
Yeah. It's been interesting. And, you know, like you said, I think hopefully the stigma's kind of gone down a little bit and people will start, I think people want to. be healthy and they want to feel better, you know,
Yeah.
and so they're finding ways to do that. And I think, I always say mind, body, and spirit. You gotta,
Yes.
stuff all set and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And EMDR works with the body. I mean, it's mainly the nervous system that we're calming down, because you're right. We have to work with we have to see those systems as separate systems that are interconnected, but we've got to pay attention. In fact, I'm getting a somatic um, counseling certification to work with the nervous system, and because emotions are trapped in the body, just
Yeah.
like that book that says the body keeps the score. So we can do everything right, and our nervous system is still on high alert all the time. I heard someone say one time, "Oh, I forgive you, but my body hasn't forgiven you yet." And I just thought that was so fascinating and so true that the body is very protective. It holds
Yeah.
on to those memories and those emotions. And so we've got to work with all of that together. So I'm pretty holistic in my practice.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody, I always tell my clients your fight and flight response is very heightened. Everybody just has that super heightened awareness, but it's not
Yeah.
necessarily themselves, it's of everything else. And I'm like, you need to understand that fight or flight in
Yes.
yourself,
Yes. That
you know.
self-awareness is key.
Yeah, and once you get it, especially I see it a lot in kids. Kids, they tend to click into it a lot sooner, I think, because their mind's not full of all the other stuff. But
Yeah.
once they start being, becoming aware of their bodies, it's a change. It's just like this light bulb comes on and and they can talk to you about what they feel and,
Hmm.
that kind of thing. And yeah,
Yeah.
it's neat to see.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. When they recognize I'm in a bad mood, but I can change that. Or, I don't have to be in fight or flight. Like there is hope. Like
Yeah.
I had a client a few years ago come in and say, I've got high anxiety, and my therapist told me that I was just always going to have it. And I'm like, no, 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 no. You don't have to live that way. You can take ownership over it. It's just so sad to hear that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have a lot more control than we think, which is, in my opinion, some of the most freeing news ever.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Especially because there's such a market for medications. And I see even young kids, 5, 6, 7 years old are taking medications. And it's like, let's get you to understand your body and then it'll make a huge difference. So,
yes.
yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, well, it was great talking to you. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And
Me too.
yeah, I always like to talk to people who do the counseling. My son had to have it when he was younger, and it was so beneficial for him. So,
It's
yeah,
wonderful.
yeah,
Yes.
he's a
Yes.
he's a great kid now. He understands himself really well now. So,
Good.
yeah,
Good. That's the key,
yeah,
understanding and honoring ourselves. So
yeah.
it's really important.
That's
Yeah.
where
Well,
it
thank you so
starts.
much.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
absolutely. Yeah. And so, what I will do, let me stop this real quick. What I will do is, I'm about I'm about 4 podcasts behind on editing right now.
Oh,
Well, I was going to do it this weekend and then we got busy with stuff and I just never got back to it. So this weekend I'm going to sit down and edit podcasts, and what I'll do is I'll edit it and I'll send it to you, and then you
okay.
let me know what you think and if you need to change anything. I don't know if I asked you or not, to send me a little bio or whatever you want in the
Oh,
description.
okay.
Send me
Okay.
whatever you want in the description, and I'll put that in the description of the podcast. And
Okay.
um, yeah, and I'll send it to you. And then once you say it's okay, I'll post it on there. I'm
Okay.
hoping once I get these four, the three, and then yours on there, I'm hoping to post again on the Indie Holistic Living site, like a directory of who I have so far. Um,
Oh,
do
cool.
it every so often so people can kind of see who's on there and they can go in there and find the podcast they want. But I've had several hundred people download different episodes. Um,
Wow.
so people are wanting to find, yeah, find out information and see who's out there and stuff like that. So
What is your podcast name?
it's called Naturally Indiana.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay.
Yeah. So
It's a great name.
I started out with, I mean, I'm just on there talking. I'm not super professional with this, but I started just talking about stuff that I do in my practice. And then people just were like, I don't know who exists. And they were always asking me, well, do you know anybody who does this? Do you know who does this? And I'm like, okay, we need to figure out, how to get everybody's names out there who want to be known.
I
So
love that.
that's why I
Yeah,
started this. And like I said, some of my episodes aren't very professional. I had people just talk and they're like, just post it like that. And I'm like, okay. And they've been big hits, and I've had people want to have question and answer sessions and stuff. So it's just okay, whatever you
great.
guys want, I'll post it. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I don't mind if you don't even edit it at all. Like I don't,
yeah,
whatever you
yeah.
feel comfortable with,
I was
I'll
gonna say
just
we didn't go off tangent too much. We had a couple people we've gone off tangent, and he's like, just post it like that. And I'm like, sure. Are you sure? And he's like, yeah, it's fine because that's how I am in general. I was like, okay.
Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, but yeah, I'll look. I shouldn't have to do too much editing on this one. Um,
Okay.
yeah. So, but I'll just make sure. Usually, I'll do like a little intro. I have my intro to my podcast, but I do a little intro of who I'm talking to, and I'll do a little thing at the end with the information again. So, yep. But yours shouldn't take too
Okay.
long.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Thanks
But
so much.
thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, absolutely. I hope you get some rest.
I know I will. I'm ready to go to bed. That's for sure.
Oh.
I'll talk to you later.
All right. Bye, Tina.
Bye.